you to Vandergraaf for sponsoring this month's edition of Road to Recovery. Visit their website for more information about the Vandergraaf drum motor designed specifically for heavy industry applications.
We touched too on the Senate, and obviously I think people thought by the evening November 3rd we'd know where the Senate stood, but we don't. We're still here around Thanksgiving, and we've got two runoff races that are going to take place in the state of Georgia right at the beginning of January, and the Republicans need to retain one of those to retain control of the Senate. I think if you listen to the talking heads or some pundits, they seem confident that the Republicans will, but I'll believe that when I see it, because I feel like there's just been a lot of uncertainty and unknowns that have surfaced from our election in 2020. So curious again, I mean, you talked about a stimulus package maybe coming earlier from Biden, maybe it being less impactful for aggregates, but there's still impact there from the Senate, and who's in control of that. What influence does that have on our industry and on your forecasts specifically too?
Well, it's likely to have a pretty big impact. Let's assume, I'm assuming, if you just listen to what I said, that the Republicans will probably win Georgia, or at least one out of the two, and we won't have dramatic changes. But let's go the other way. After all, if it's close, it could go either way. So let's assume Democrats win, and all the things they're talking about, eliminating the filibuster, maybe adding a couple states, maybe adding some new Supreme Court justices, and what that implies. It implies big government spending over the next few years, not necessarily for infrastructure. There's lots of other things to spend money on, as we've seen. It could be a guaranteed income. That's, instead of $500 a month for people, maybe it's $2,000, because it'll never be enough. So the impact is going to be large. Not so much next year, maybe even not the year after that, but it starts to make a bigger difference. We may have a lot more public housing. We have a shortage of housing. It's very expensive. I could easily see a massive home building or condominium project for people. Offices, non-residential, not so much. Non-building, not as much. But the biggest impact would probably be residential. Give everybody a home. That would be one of the big changes going down the road.
And again, just to be clear, we're talking about the Democrats gain control of the Senate, and there's those three ducks in a row with the presidency and the two chambers of Congress.
Right. And as we've seen from the past few cycles, when a president has control of all three segments of the government and they don't do something dramatic, it's usually fleeting. Barack Obama had it for 2 years. President Trump had it for 2 years, and it goes away. And if you don't do something dramatic, your chance goes away as the House of Representatives or the Senate changes. So if they control all three branches of government, I would imagine they're going to want to act big and soon.
Thank you to Vandergraaf for sponsoring this month's edition of Road to Recovery. Visit their website for more information about the Vandergraaf drum motor designed specifically for heavy industry applications.